So once again, things are looking good in the financial markets. The S&P 500 index is about to close another week in the green. Let's look at the fear and greed index for the stock market. So the index is currently at 30, showing that we have made a switch from extreme fear to fear. And this shows that confidence is returning back into the market. People are getting bullish and people are buying stocks at the moment. Let's look at the heat map for the past week. So for the past week, we see that big players like Google is up about 10%. Microsoft is up about 4%. Apple is up about 8%. Amazon is up about 9%. And Tesla is up almost 11% this past week. So things are looking good definitely in the stock market. Let's look at the cryptocurrency market as well. And from the heat map, we see that Bitcoin is up about 9%. Ethereum is up about 16%. Solana is up about 16% as well. And Matic is up almost 24% this past week. So things are also looking good in the cryptocurrency market as well. But in this video, I want to focus more on the stock market. Let's look at the S&P 500 index. Let's analyze the chart and let's see what is likely to happen this upcoming week in the stock market. But before doing that, welcome to the channel. My name is Seth and I cover the stocks and cryptocurrency market. So make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and turn on notifications for your weekly stock market updates and your weekly cryptocurrency market updates. Now let's jump right into it. So we have a pretty busy week ahead of us. On Thursday and Friday, we have a whole bunch of earnings reports coming out. We have TSM coming out with their earnings report. JP Morgan is also coming out with their earnings report on Thursday. And on Friday, we have a whole bunch of other banks also coming out with their earnings report. But out of all these events, the most important events that I have my eyes on is the CPI data that is coming out for June on July 13th, on Wednesday. So on Wednesday, I believe that CPI data that we'll be getting for June, that could shape the market. So I have my eyes on that. And then on Friday, we also have the retail sales data for June that is also coming out. And I believe that will also affect the market a little bit. Now let's jump right into the chart. So last week, after the S&P 500 index got a bounce off the 1.272 Fibonacci extension level over here, around 3,741 points. I told you guys at the beginning of the week over here, I told you guys that at the beginning of the week that the S&P 500 index was going to bounce and was going to push higher towards the 1.0 Fibonacci extension level, right? The 1.0 Fibonacci extension level is around 3,932 points. And we see that last week, we closed the week around 3,899 points. We even got as far as 3,910 points, right? Which is very close to the 1.0 Fibonacci extension level that I was talking about. Now, although we saw some good bounce in the market last week, the S&P 500 index is still trading in this descending channel pattern. And this descending channel pattern is usually a bullish pattern. So at some point in the future, I expect the S&P 500 index to break above this resistance line over here and push higher. But I don't believe we're about to see that until the Feds, they stop increasing interest rates or they start to decrease interest rates, right? That's the only time I believe that will happen. So until the Feds stop increasing interest rates or start to decrease interest rates, I don't believe that we're about to push above this resistance line. And I believe the S&P 500 index will continue trading in this descending channel pattern, right? But now let's look at what is likely to happen in the shorter time frame. So what is likely to happen in the next 5 days in the stock market. So now looking at the S&P 500 index in the shorter time frame, in the 1 hour time frame, we see that after the index got pretty close to the 1.0 Fibonacci extension level over here that I was expecting last week, the index is getting a little bit of a resistance around 3,910 points, right? And we see that 3,910 points is forming confluence with the point of control. So the point of control is this red line. This red line that cuts across the chart, this is the point of control, which is around 3,910 points, right? This point of control tells us who is winning the fight, whether the bears are winning the fight or whether the bulls are winning the fight. At the moment, it is too early to call whether the bulls will win the fight or the bears will win the fight. But since there's a lot of resistance over here, we see that a lot of shares of the S&P 500 index were traded in this zone over here, right? So I would expect the bears to win the fight. But we will have to confirm this using some technical indicators, right? To see the probability of the bulls winning or the bears winning. Let's bring up the RSI. And from the RSI, we see that the RSI over here is currently at 60, which is above the midpoint. The midpoint is at 50. So this shows that we are overbought. And I would expect a little bit of a pullback, maybe a reversion back to the midpoint or a reversion back to the mean around 50 for next week, a little bit sometime next week. But let's bring up some other indicators and let's confirm that as well. So looking at the MACD, the momentum indicators, this is the MACD. We see that the MACD line over here, the blue line, is below the signal line over here, right? But it is too early to call over here as well. but things are looking bearish at the moment because the MACD is peaking. It looks like the MACD over here, the blue line, is peaking. Let's bring up the squeeze momentum as well. And looking at the squeeze momentum chart, we see that the squeeze momentum is indicating that the buy momentum or the buy volume is decreasing, right? This shows that momentum, the amount of people buying is decreasing. So I would expect a little bit of a pullback within the first 2 to 3 days of trading for this upcoming week. So for the upcoming week, it is a little bit difficult telling whether we are going bullish or whether we are going bearish because we are currently at the point of control on the VPVR around 3,910 points. So it's a little bit difficult telling whether we are going bullish or bearish, but I am currently leaning towards the bearish side because when we look at the technical indicators, it looked like we are going back down because the buy volume or buy momentum is decreasing at the moment. So I am leaning towards bearish. But in case we break above 3,910 points, then we are definitely going bullish, and I would expect the SP 500 index to push to about 4,000 points. That is if we get some good news from the CPI data on Wednesday, and also we see some good retail news or even the earnings report. So in case we get some good earnings report, then that could push us even higher to about 4,000 points. But now, make sure to help a brother out. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and turn on notifications to get weekly stock market updates and weekly crypto market updates.